SCP-1265, Object Class Euclid. SCP-1265 is an irregularly shaped area of land measuring 50 kilometers squared within the Congo Basin, Africa. SCP-1265 is mostly contained within the Democratic Republic of the Congo, but approximately 15 kilometers squared is contained within the neighboring Republic of the Congo. The majority of SCP-1265 is uninhabited, save for some tribal villages, and contains flora typical of the Congo Basin. SCP-1265 is inhabited by several species known to be extinct, mostly from the clade Dinosauria. These animals, collectively designated SCP-1265-A, appear spontaneously in groups of 5 approximately once every 30 days, and are not necessarily found on the fossil record within Africa. Instead, they appear to be selected based on the climate they lived in during the Mesozoic era. Instances of -A are incapable of leaving SCP-1265, as they dematerialize upon crossing the border of SCP-1265 and reappear in an area within 3 kilometers of the border, sedated. -A are also not chosen based on one particular period of the Mesozoic, but the Cretaceous and Jurassic are the most well represented, with sparse population of Triassic period dinosaurs. In addition, several non-dinosaur reptilians such as pterosaurs are known to exist within SCP-1265, but are not commonly seen. -A instances, even carnivores, showed no aggression or fear towards humans unless provoked to date. The 3 Foundation personnel killed in SCP-1265 have died as a result of accidentally provoking a -A instance, as opposed to being actively hunted by a carnivorous species of -A. Notably, there are a few large carnivorous or herbivorous dinosaurs present as -A instances, and a lack of dinosaur species whose fossils have been found in North America. For example, species such as Tyrannosaurus rex and Brachiosaurus have never been cited in SCP-1265, but species such as Spinosaurus and Kentrosaurus are relatively common. Proportionately speaking, there is a 5-to-1 ratio of non-American dinosaurs to American species. Finally, there are several instances of -A that have not yet been discovered in the fossil record, collectively known as SCP-1265-Alpha. -Alpha instances are known for being unusually aggressive and will often charge at or attempt to attack researchers and other animals within SCP-1265 indiscriminately. As of yet, Foundation researchers have been unable to determine the origin of most instances of -Alpha. Some have been found in the fossil record and as such have been reclassified as instances of -A. Notably, -Alpha instances reclassified as -A usually lose all aggressive tendencies. SCP-1265 is believed to have existed for at least 200 years, according to historical records. Several instances of SCP-1265-A have been integrated into the folklore of several tribes in the area near SCP-1265. Collected notes regarding SCP-1265-A. Notes taken during a monthly expedition through SCP-1265 by Dr. Neal. I still find it fascinating that almost all instances of -A, well, the dinosaurs at least, are feathered, not scaled. All I have to say is this: Chen, eat your heart out. This blows Yixian out of the water. Wang's come across a few carcasses, and he's joked a few times about wanting to see what they taste like. I don't trust dinosaur meat, especially given what was found in that farm in China. There are some trilobites in the water, however, and the natives sometimes come here to fish for them. They taste like prawns. As noted in the main description, the majority of them are from the clade Dinosauria, and are all suited to fit the climate of the Congo. Several of them are quasi-amphibious, such as the Kentrosaurus, which prefers to spend time in water. Observation has shown that it can hold its breath for up to an hour at a time. As such, Kentrosaurus native to this area have large amounts of algae growing on their plates and spikes, occasionally giving the illusion that they're a living bush of some sort. Kentrosaurus are actually quite docile, but we've seen that their thagomizers can take down small trees. Despite the theory created by Mr. Russell in the 1980s, there is absolutely no evidence that Troodon would have ever evolved into the so-called dinosauroid, but they are rather intelligent. They have been seen using rudimentary tools in a manner similar to chimpanzees in order to pick fruit from trees and throw rocks at prey in order to injure it. We found a family of baryonyx today. As it turns out, they're semi-aquatic and use their tails to shoot through the water after fish and chomp them up like a crocodile or gorals. They appear to be associating with a clan of Spinosaurus. Dr. Moore was very disappointed about seeing a live Spinosaurus, and I honestly can't blame him. They're more quadrupedal and have feather covering more like ducks than anything else. Their skeletal structure is completely unsuited for walking upright, and the less said about the so-called spine the better. Specifically fascinating, but as a lifelong dinosaur enthusiast, I must grieve for such a titan. We've made an incredible discovery. A four-winged flying dinosaur with wings on both its arms and its legs. Wang speculates that it is a completely new species of microraptor, native to Asia. It's colored like a raven. Its plumage is an iridescent black. Since it's not been found on the record, it's a -alpha instance, and those things are tetchy. Wang nearly lost his finger bitten off sedating it. If it's ever found on the fossil record, we'll name it properly, but for now, it's just Microraptor foundationii. We finally found something that isn't feathered. It's a species of crocodile, Postosuchus, late Triassic. It was drinking at the edge of a lake when suddenly a pack of Coelophysis jumped out and attacked it. Several of them went for its throat, cutting the jugular. As soon as it bled out, they began stripping the corpse to the bone. It was astounding, almost like piranha tearing apart a cow in the Amazon. We managed to collect the skeleton, and Wang noticed that the thing had 3 shattered ankles, as if they had fallen and landed on their feet. Probably why the Coelophysis were able to take it down so easily. We saw a magnificent fight between a Therizinosaurus and a Carnotaurus. The Therizinosaurus practically decapitated the poor carnivore, which was about the same size. The Therizinosaur then did something rather odd. It cut open the Carnotaurus' corpse and dipped its claws in the blood before scoring the trees around it with dinosaur blood. I believe that this was done for the purpose of marking territory. It's actually rather fascinating, if somewhat gruesome. The Therizinosaur then ate a bit of flesh from the Carnotaur and left the area. Dr. Moore has apparently never seen a Dilophosaurus, outside of a certain movie. He was absolutely shocked when he saw one, and it wasn't a 2-meter-long creature that acted like a dog, but rather a 6-meter-long creature that looked like it could bite off his head. It ran away, but we managed to get some good pictures. Also found some footprints from an unknown sauropod. I honestly have no idea what on earth we saw today. We found a new instance of -alpha. It appeared to be a ceratopsid with a single horn and 4 short stumpy legs, but it had a long tail dragging along the ground. Uncharacteristic of ceratopsids, it didn't have a frill of any sort. Instead, it almost seemed to have floppy ears near the top of its head. It was also quite aggressive and was engaged in combat with a Pachyrhinosaurus for unknown reasons. It ended up goring the poor thing. We decided to head back to the site after that. Footnotes 1. Objects such as SCP-1266 suggest anomalies similar to SCP-1265 may exist elsewhere, though no additional instances have been found. 2. Roughly, large python. 3. This is believed to be an exaggeration. To date, no record of instances of SCP-1265-A consuming humans has been found. 4. One who blocks rivers. 5. Pei Ji Chen was one of the 3 paleontologists who described a fossil of Sinosauropteryx prima in a 1998 issue of Nature. The Yixian Formation in Liaoning, China, started producing fossil evidence of feathered dinosaurs in the 1990s, with Sinosauropteryx being one of the first to bear feather imprinting. 6. Clinical term for the spikes at the end of a stegosaurid's tail. 7. In 1982, Dale Russell hypothesized that if they had not gone extinct, Troodon would have evolved into a more humanoid form, also known as a dinosauroid. There is no evidence to support this claim. 8. Fossils of the species were discovered in 2012, and the animal has since been publicly classified as M. hanchingi by Gong et al. Special Containment Procedures. Site 1265, which contains SCP-1265, is to be publicly maintained as a wildlife preserve by the Safe and Clean Planet Initiative, a Foundation front company. Scientific discoveries made by the Foundation regarding wildlife within SCP-1265 may be published following corresponding evidence being found in the fossil record. Civilians wishing to travel through SCP-1265 are to be treated with Class D anterograde selective amnestics in order to be unable to remember instances of -A that they come into contact with. All untreated civilians found to have come into contact with -A instances are to be treated with Class A retrograde general amnestics, implanted with false memories and released. Every 6 months, eggs laid by instances of -A are to be harvested for incubation and study before being released into the wild at maturity. Full procedures for care of young specimens of -A, including imprinting procedures. See document 1265-I.